Hey there, thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Spiritual Scientist. I'm Victor. Thanks for checking me out. So, today I'm talking to you about something I saw a few weeks ago, that these ants were now following a trail of other ants and they go in circles. So, sometimes it's said that these ants that live in the jungle lose the pheromone trail of the ants in front of them, and they do just sometimes walk in a circle, and they call that a death spiral. So that those ants eventually, sometimes if one doesn't figure out how to get out of it, they just die, which was very strange to hear that and see that for the first time, because I've never heard that before. Then as well, a few weeks ago, I saw these sheep that you might have heard of, and now other farmers are reporting that these sheep follow the other sheep, and they go in circles, and they did it for like 12 days straight, they said. So, which is very, very interesting. So, they're saying 12 days. So, that is indicative, almost, if you want to do a biblical interpretation of it, of the 12 disciples. So the 12 disciples followed, Jesus, and then we have 12 days of sheep following another sheep. So these sheep, what did Jesus say about following blind people? And what was the biblical interpretation? So when the blind follow the blind, they shall eventually fall into the pit, is the way I remember it. Now the biblical interpretation, the way it's laid out, is slightly different, and I will talk to you about the new slightly different variety. So it says that the blind that follow leaders that are blind shall fall into the pit. So it doesn't say shall anymore, it'll say go to. But I digress. So what that means, that if you're following leaders that are not following spirituality, then you're basically both going to fall into the pit. What do we see a lot with what's going on is that these leaders are they just don't have a clue. They're going in circles, so then the people following them are going in circles. So when Jesus was doing a healing, and the spirit, negative spirit, a demon, was in somebody, said, "Can I go into the pigs?" And then it went into the pigs, and then the pigs went into the river and drowned themselves. So the spirit affected the pigs to make them do that. So now we have sheep that are going in circles. So that's a spirit sent out that's making the sheep go in circles. And so what happens is that's a sign. And so when that's a sign, that means that you don't want to follow leaders that are blind as well, and that you're basically, this is a warning. So when you see that they're just going around in circles, you didn't see a lot of sheep that fell into a pit. You saw sheep that were going in circles. So that means that we're close, but there's still time to avert the danger. And that, it's a twofold thing. You have to watch out for false messiahs. And then I would say the real interpretation, the way it seems to be now, is that you have to really watch out for these false leaders that rise up or are in place already, that do things, and that you're in trouble. So right now we have in China, people are starting to rise up and revolt a little bit about these lockdowns, and they're put in jail cells and everything else. So, you have to really watch out what your leaders are saying. A lot of people are now hurt because of what happened before. So the way I interpret it is to follow spiritual teachers instead of political leaders, and like moi, and for who keep telling you the truth instead of all these lies. It's just the way that I'm interpreting it, and you can interpret it any way you want, but that seems to be the way this one is going. So these sheep going in circles are being led astray. What did Jesus say about the sheep? He said the sheep, those were his flock, and his flocks going in circles. So the church right now is basically as well going in circles. They're just doing the same thing, the same ritual. Nobody's there talking about ascension, talking about different things, they're just doing the same thing, and they're following all these leaders as well, where the church has altogether, they have over $100 billion, but they haven't spent the money, correctly, and they had a lot of, all the pedophilia and a lot of things that came up against the church, that all that money was mismanaged, and that came out before. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. Like, subscribe, share. I hope you're having a great Friday. Peace out. Bye-bye.